When we think of the Buddha in the modern world, we often picture a man perfectly suited for our times, a brilliant psychologist, a master of the mind, a kind of proto-scientist who discovered the inner workings of human suffering 2,500 years ago. We see his teachings as a timeless, practical guide to well-being. But if you open the ancient scriptures, you meet a very different figure. You meet a man who casually spoke with gods and spirits as if they were his neighbors. A man who recalled, in detail, thousands of his previous lives. He taught about fiery hell realms and blissful heavens, and had disciples who, it was said, could walk through walls and read minds. This presents us with a puzzle. Who was the real Buddha? The secular sage of the mind, or the spiritual master of the cosmos? And more importantly, which version do we need to follow? Today, we're tackling one of the most significant questions for the modern practitioner. Does Buddhism require belief in supernatural elements like karma, rebirth, and other realms? Or can it be practiced as a purely secular, psychological system? This isn't a trivial question. For many, it's the primary barrier to entry. You might be drawn to the peace of meditation, but are skeptical about past lives. You might love the ethical teachings, but can't accept the idea of gods and ghosts. The beautiful truth is that the Buddhist path is so profound and flexible that it can accommodate you wherever you stand on these issues. To understand how, we need to see the Dharma not as one single thing, but as a powerful system with different layers of engagement. The ancient Buddhist texts, without a doubt, describe a universe rich with what we would call the supernatural. This is the traditional view. In this framework, our current life is just one chapter in a vast, beginningless book. Our karma, our intentional actions, is a cosmic law that determines our rebirth in various realms, from the most painful hells to the most blissful heavens. And the ultimate goal, nibbana, is not just peace of mind in this life, but the complete liberation from this entire cycle of death and rebirth, samsara. This is the religion of Buddhism, a complete cosmological and soteriological system. However, we can also approach the teachings from a completely secular and psychological perspective. This approach focuses on the verifiable here and now. The Four Noble Truths are not seen as cosmic laws, but as a doctor's diagnosis for the human condition in this life. There is suffering, dukkha. We all experience stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. There is a cause. It comes from our own minds, our craving, aversion, and ignorance. There is a cure. We can end this suffering. There is a path. The Noble Eightfold Path is the practical medicine. In this view, karma is simply psychological cause and effect. Kind actions lead to a peaceful mind, while harmful actions lead to inner turmoil. Nibbana is the extinguishing of the fires of greed, hatred, and delusion in our own hearts, a state of psychological freedom available in this very life. Think of the Dharma as a powerful operating system for the mind. Let's call it Dhamma OS. Its purpose is to eliminate the malware of suffering and to run the apps of wisdom and compassion, leading to optimal well-being. Now, this OS comes in two versions. The traditional version is cloud integrated. It connects to services like karmic backup, which saves your progress across lifetimes, and Rebirth Restore, which determines your next starting point. For millions, these cloud features are what give the OS its ultimate power and meaning. The secular version is a standalone local install. You choose not to connect to the cloud. You run the core Dhamma OS directly on your own hardware, your mind and body. You find that the malware of anxiety is still removed, the app of compassion still runs beautifully, and your system's performance is radically improved. It works perfectly on its own. The key is that the core operating system is the same for both. The choice is yours. Do you want the full cloud-integrated suite or the powerful standalone local version? This choice is not just a modern invention. The Buddha himself was remarkably pragmatic. In the famous Kalama Sutta, he advised a group of confused townspeople not to believe in any teaching out of blind faith, not even his own. Instead, he told them, when you know for yourselves that certain things are unwholesome and lead to harm and suffering, then abandon them. When you know for yourselves that certain things are wholesome and lead to well-being and happiness, then accept them and live by them. This is a direct invitation to an empirical, experience-based practice. You don't have to start by believing anything you can't verify. This leads to a wise stance of pragmatic agnosticism. You can simply put the supernatural questions on a shelf. You don't have to be a dogmatic materialist who denies them, nor do you have to be a dogmatic believer. You can say, I don't know about rebirth, so I'll focus on what I can know, the state of my own mind right now. You can test the power of the local install of Dhamma OS right now with a simple, verifiable experiment. For the next 24 hours, I invite you to focus on just one element of the path: right speech. This means you will make a gentle commitment to refrain from 4 things: lying, harsh or angry words, divisive speech or gossip, and idle chatter. You will try to speak only what is true, kind, helpful, and timely. You don't need to believe in anything supernatural to do this. This is a purely psychological and ethical training. At the end of the day, simply observe the results. Ask yourself, was my mind more peaceful or more agitated today? Did my connections with others feel more honest and harmonious? Did this practice lead to well-being or to harm? The results of this experiment will give you a direct taste of the Dharma's power, completely independent of any cosmological belief. So, does Buddhism require belief in supernatural elements? The answer is no. The path is spacious enough for many doors. You can enter through the door of faith, embracing a rich cosmology that gives meaning to the vast arc of existence. Or you can enter through the door of secular inquiry, using the Dharma as a pragmatic and powerful science of the mind to transform your life here and now. Both paths use the same core operating system. Both lead to the same destination: the end of suffering and the cultivation of a wise and compassionate heart. The only requirement is not what you believe, but your sincere willingness to look inward. Which approach resonates most with you on your journey? The cloud-integrated tradition or the standalone secular path? Share your perspective with respect and openness in the comments below. If this exploration has brought you clarity, please support our channel by liking this video and subscribing to the Mindful Compass. May your path, whichever door you choose, be filled with peace.